Hello, everybody, and welcome to Free UFC Bet Picks. Thanks for tuning into our show today. We are here talking about UFC Vegas 16, Hermansson versus Vettori. These are our early predictions here after watching tons of tape. We will do our post-weigh-in video on Friday, like always, with our final bets, parlays, daily fantasy advice, all that good stuff. So let's get into our fight here. We are breaking down a women's flyweight bout between Taila Santos and Montana De La Rosa. Let's see, La Rosa has an inch of height on Santos, but they do have the exact same reach at 68 inches. Bet Online has Santos at minus 225 and De La Rosa at plus 175. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think that line's correct. Montana De La Rosa is a good fighter. You know, she usually trains out of Elevation Fight Team in Colorado. This time she actually was not able to get out to Colorado. She was kind of training at home with her husband, Mark De La Rosa, who's a good fighter, you know, former UFC fighter. People say he's a bad fighter, but he made it to the UFC. He's a damn good fighter. And she was training with Lauren Murphy, who we like a lot. Lauren Murphy, you know, should be fighting for a title soon. But, I think it would bode better for her if she had her normal full camp, full of training partners, full of coaches, right? I think this is in Taila's favor that Montana didn't get her normal camp. So we're gonna break down the last couple fights for you. We're gonna try and go through it rather quickly. You know, Montana De La Rosa, her last fight, she got a unanimous decision loss against Viviane Araujo. That's not a great look, you know. It started out fast striking from them both. You know, De La Rosa was landing hands. Araujo was landing some kicks. Araujo started landing the overhands that just busted De La Rosa up. And De La Rosa showed so much freaking heart. We've seen, like Sarah Alpar. We've seen some amazing heart out of some women's fighters over the last year. This qualifies for that too. De La Rosa just showed so much heart. She kept going for the takedowns. Araujo was just stuffing the takedowns. Round two, Araujo was landing some low kicks that were hurting De La Rosa, and that's not good because Taila Santos has great leg kicks. Not to get ahead of ourselves here, but that doesn't bode well. Montana started limping around. Actually, there was like 2 low kicks in a row that really hurt her, and Montana was limping around. She landed a nice combo, landed a nice head kick, but Araujo just kind of walked right through it. It doesn't seem, even when her strikes land in flashy fashion, they don't have a ton of pop on them. Round 3, De La Rosa is landing some nice punches. She lands a nice uppercut in the clinch. And she finally started slipping some of those right overhands that Araujo was throwing, but Araujo immediately started landing the jab heavy. Her straight jab was just popping De La Rosa's head back. Araujo showed nice adjustments, good fight IQ. De La Rosa just showed poor striking defense, really, more than anything else, and that's kind of the end of it. It was an exciting fight. The third round ended with them both just swinging for the fences and brawling. Good fight. De La Rosa was a mess. Such heart from her. Takes so much. You can't breathe. Your nose is, but you can't breathe. You're losing blood, so you're losing oxygen. Like, to have cardio, to show heart for 15 minutes when you're just a bloody mess like that is just really impressive. Before that, she beat Mara Borella. Mara Borella is on out of her last 6 fights, she's only won 1 fight, and it was against Taila Santos. It's kind of it kind of doesn't look good for Santos, right? De La Rosa beat her like everyone has, Montana was throwing those high kicks out, and they were getting her taken down, just like I just mentioned. But she'd scramble, and Montana would get Borella's back. That is something that Santos got to be careful for. Montana does have very nice grappling. Round 2, Montana was throwing heavy hands. Borella answers with some heavy hands, and Montana was all of a sudden wanting to go back to the floor again. But she got a very nice trip and got back control again. Great job by her. The end rounds with her throwing just heavy ground and pound from the back. Great second round for Montana. Third round, Borella comes out firing, but Montana was just fine. She's taking the shots. Good kind of evasion, good slips, good chin when they were landing on her. Nice job by her. And then Montana lands a heavy right that it's a rare instance of her showing some big time striking power. She drops Viviane and then jumps in her guard and finishes the fight in her guard. Great job by Montana. Gritty, good good, good durability, good chin. A couple nice overhands and nice strikes when she needed them most. Most of the story of the fight was Montana's grappling once it got to the ground. Fight before that, their grappling didn't look too good. She's fighting Andrea Lee, and Andrea Lee is just piecing her up. Andrea Lee wins a unanimous decision, and this is another fight where Montana was just leaking everywhere. Really, Andrea Lee was just sprawling and brawling like Chuck Liddell. And, the jab, the leg kicks, the body hooks, the jabs were really working big time on Montana. Tyla's got a nice jab. But so Andrea Lee isn't known for just like piecing girls up on the feet nonstop, and she was just piecing her up, nonstop in this fight. KGB Lee, she's a little hit or miss. Sometimes she looks great, sometimes she gets beat badly. But this is a good performance by Andrea KGB Lee. At the end of the fight, Montana was going for a Hail Mary type of armbar, and it looked deep. Montana's got good grappling. I think, she has a chance of submitting Tyla in this fight. Fight before that, she submitted Nadia Qasim, who's a good fighter, with an armbar. Fight before that, she finished Rachel Ostrovich by rear naked choke. That was on the Ultimate Fighter finale. So, she's got good grappling. That's the story.
Yeah. So
going to Tyla, great Muay Thai striker. She's 1 inch shorter than Montana here, but she fights really long. She just stays behind her jab, keeps the low kick going, and she makes people chase her. She's great with her footwork, and just fights taller, fights longer than she actually is. So her last fight up against Molly McCann, it was a great fight. That was just in July. Santos was landing the body kicks, landing lots of knees to the body as well, and they were affecting Molly. Once the distance got closed, she kind of grabs a clinch and slams Molly down. So that's good. I don't think she wants to do that necessarily against Montana De La Rosa. But, when she needs to, she's got decent wrestling. She was fishing for a Darce choke. She got Molly McCann down and then was fishing for a Darce choke. She's not lazy. She's not just riding out, trying to get top control time. She's ground and pounding and going for submissions. I like that a lot. Molly would get back up, and Santos would just drag her right back down. And Santos wants to strike, but once she has you down and she's winning the grappling edge, she will keep it there. She's got good fight IQ. There were a couple takedowns in the third round for Santos as well to ice the fight, but she already had it well in hand. Before that, she lost to Amara Barella, as I mentioned. It's the only win that Mara's had in a while. Really, though, Mara was just holding her up against the cage. A lot of people think that Santos should have won this fight. Santos is winning the striking, especially, on the outside, and then Barella would just hold her against the cage. And it's so frustrating with these judges. Sometimes they give, no credit for the grappling, and then other times they give, more credit than the grappling deserves. So, it's hard to say. Again, if a fight's going to go to decision, stay away. These judges are freaking wild. But overall, it was just kind of a poor performance from Santos. She just seemed a little gun shy, kind of like Uriah Hall we talk about, where they just don't want to pull the trigger. That was Santos. In interviews after the fight, she said that it was just octagon jitters, and I get that. That was back in February 2019, where you had a crowd full of drunk booers, booing boozers or boozing booers, take your pick. And, there's a lot of octagon jitters at that time. When she went in and fought this year in July 2020, she had a great performance. So I think that that Mara Barella performance by Tyla Santos, you can kind of just throw it out. Before that, on the Dana White Contender Series, she fought Estefany Almeida, who's a really good fighter. That's the Dana White Contender Series night fight card that Johnny Walker got his win on and got into the UFC. Really, the story is that Santos is winning the grappling again. She's taking her down, knee on belly, side control, mount, getting the back, trying to get the rear naked choke, but can't. Pardon. I got a frog in my throat.
Let's see. Do you want to go into DraftKings prices? All right, so we've got Santos at 8,900 and Montana De La Rosa at 7,300.
Pass on both.
Yeah.
Sounds sexist. Everyone says pass on the women's fights in DFS because you want finishes. It's not always the case, but it's often the case. I do expect a decision here. One of the recommended bets, instead of betting Tyla by minus 180 or whatever. Sorry, geez. So I'm like yelling for half straight hour now. I recommend betting Tyla Santos by decision plus 110 on some of the sports books that we have. On best fight odds, it's got it like minus 105, but those aren't the best fight odds. So
Yeah.
you can get Tyla Santos at plus 110 by decision. Do that. That being the case, don't go too heavy on her. We just said if these judges are terrible, if a fight goes to decision, anything is liable to happen. But overall, it's a DFS pass for those reasons.
Yeah. And I did just want to correct myself from earlier. When I looked up on best fight odds, it had the lines at Santos minus 225 and De La Rosa plus 175. But as I'm looking at FanDuel right now, it's got De La Rosa at plus 152, Santos at minus 188. So I guess it has been moving towards Montana a slight bit since.
What was Santos before? It's moving towards Santos. She was minus 170 before?
No, Santos was minus 225.
Okay.
On best fight odds. And
Interesting.
now she's minus 188 on FanDuel.
Gotcha. So it appears that money's coming in on Montana. I disagree with that, but I get it. Once a line gets too wide in a fight that is going to go to decision, there's lots of value on the underdog, but
Yeah.
I really don't see how Montana wins this fight. Not to be too critical. I think Tyla's got a huge advantage in the striking. I think her wrestling is just fine. Montana's got an edge in the scrambles and the grappling for sure, but I don't think it's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Tyla's going to take that one.
Another bet real quick, the over 2.5 is minus 230, or somewhere in that range. I think that's basically a lock.
Yeah.
I've got that in a couple of bets, a couple of parlays, and I think that, if there was a fighter at minus 230 that I felt as confident about as I feel about this fight going past, 12 and a half minutes, I'd be all in on them in parlays. I think, this fight going over 2.5 is very, very safe.
Yeah. All right. I think that is a wrap on Santos De La Rosa. Santos versus De La Rosa. Make sure you tune into our post-weigh-in video on Friday. Very important stuff there. I think that's it. Anything else you want to add?
Nope. Thank you all for watching. We did a ton of work for this. We're not just scrolling through Tapology or just absent-mindedly telling you that the favorite's going to win, but that there's value on the underdog. We're here really trying to give you meaningful help. So I hope you guys appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time.